Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Phantom Racing League YouTube channel for the start of the round of 8 here in the Phantom Racing League playoffs. Tonight, this round will begin at Charlotte Motor Speedway for what could be our longest, most demanding race of the season. There is a lot of points up for grabs that these drivers are going to be chasing after if they want to have a shot at a championship. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Come on in, settle down, take a seat. Maybe have this in the background if you're watching the truck race. If anyone tuning in is watching the truck race, maybe do me a favor, maybe keep me updated on what's going on since I don't have it playing in this room. Maybe if anyone's watching Thursday Night Football as well, maybe give me score updates as well, which I could probably just go to the app for it. But not to worry about that. We got racing tonight, and that is going to be the main focus. And a lot of things to talk about here, since this is the playoffs. However, the show has pretty much been stolen from guys that are not in the playoff picture, so they have been pretty much the talk of the town in this series, as the non-playoff contenders have been stealing the spotlight for those that are going for the championship. And let's start with one of our newcomers who's pretty much settled in as a regular in the series by now, and that's JoJo CY Later, one of the goofiest names on the lineup, but also one of the fastest drivers in the field, with multiple top fives on the year, including a dominant performance at Watkins Glen in the round of 12, third out of the 4 races in that round. Put everyone on notice in capturing the checkered flag in that race. So that'll be someone to look out for tonight as one of the drivers who might continue to steal the headlines. And next up, talk about a guy that's come oh so close to victory last week. About 1/100th of a second short, just about a half a nose, keeping him from getting his first win in the series. The Ghost 0241 getting edged out by the man we will be talking about next. It was a very strong performance. Ever since the Ghost has showed up, he has finished top 5 in every single race he has made so far. So, number 96, finding a way to get it done, getting the strong results every single race he's been in. He'll be one to look out for, but as I mentioned, he came up short last week against, if I can find him, there he is, number 37 of Cyogenic. He has been the talk of the town in this series ever since the playoffs started. He is not in the playoffs, not a full-time driver in the series, but he has been lighting up everything and everyone, getting win after win during the round of 12, pretty much sweeping half the races, getting the dub at Vegas, and capping things off at Iowa against the Ghost. So, those are a few drivers to look out for, and we'll keep you updated on the playoff standings as well amongst our contenders. But let's go ahead and read off the starting lineup for tonight. And starting on the pole at a 29.267, it is the number 42 Chevrolet of Parley. And on his outside is Elvin Priest in that number 51 Chevrolet. Row 2 will be JoJo CY Later in the number 88 car in third, and on his outside is the Ghost in the number 96. Row 3 will have Black Cross in the 24 and 19mm. Back in the series, he is in the 6th spot in car number 12. Row 4 will have Old Johnny Boy 512 in the number 22 Penske Ford. And on his outside, starting 8th, is Mach 1 Mac. That's another driver I'm going to be talking about here later. And starting in 9th place, out of the 9 cars that have taken time in qualifying, MFF Ed, though, also returning after a 2-week hiatus. He will start 9th in car numero 1. Cyogenic. Looks like he will start in the 10th spot. Didn't put a lap time in. And annoyingly, as I was talking about him, looks like he might have changed car numbers again. So I will check in with race control to see if everyone's ready to go, as the field's looking a little bit light tonight. It's makes sense. It's the later part of what's pretty much been a long season, and for the longest race of the year, as we're starting to see some names just happen to be dropping out, and we're starting to see who's able to hold on this far into the season. As give me 1 second here, folks. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I just got the green light from race control. They are ready to get going here. So sit tight as we will accept the invite and get ourselves into the race. And shout out to all of our supporters here on the Phantom Racing League YouTube channel, including Everything NASCAR, who is in the chat right now. So shout out to him. So everyone get settled in. This is going to be a long one. So 50% as per usual. So this race, because it's Charlotte, it'll be a 200 lap endurance for these drivers. 4 stages, so we'll have stages 1, 2, and 3, and the final stage being the 4th stage that will take them to the checkered flag. And that's going to be the flag that'll count at the end of it all. Charlotte Motor Speedway, the home of NASCAR in Charlotte, North Carolina. Parley on the pole here at Charlotte. Elvin on his outside. Then JoJo Siwa and the Ghost in row 2. And the green flag waves for a 200 lap endurance at Charlotte. And they're setting sail into turn 1. Parley with a strong start. 51 was able to duck down to the inside. Found a hole between the 42 and the 88. Was able to get down there in line, but he's going to go to the outside with the 88 right under him. Through 3 and 4 off of the final turn. This time by to lead lap number 1 will be the 42 Credit One Chevrolet in P1. That is Parley leading the first lap. They're still side by side for second. JoJo on the bottom. He's got Black Cross moving up a couple spots from the start. He's trying to battle the 96 of the Ghost. Black Cross getting a little out of shape off turn 2. The 2 Penske cars making a little bit of contact into turn 3. Battle for second still not being settled out. And that's good news for the 42, as he's going to be able to stretch his lead as far as he can. This is about a 49 lap first stage. So there will definitely be at least one pit stop, but I think the fuel window is about 19 to 20 laps, so expect to see, if this thing goes green, we'll be seeing around maybe 2 pit stops here, so there's definitely going to be some strategy getting into play. I see FTR I shoot in the chat. He's choosing to cheer for the 51 car of Elvin Priest. Elvin seems to have lost a couple of spots during this run. Starting from second, has slipped back into 4th these first few laps. We're only about 5 laps into this thing, as Black Cross in the 24 car is up into 3rd, and that Liberty car marching his way forward. He feels like he has a pretty good race car here tonight. He's working with that Valvoline Chevrolet of JoJo Siwa later. There's 19mm in that number 12 car. They're 3 wide further back. There comes the 13. That's a number I gotta get used to. That is Cyogenic, our most recent winner. With 3 wins on the year, he has driven 3 different car numbers, and this is the 3rd one. He is now in the number 13 Geico Chevrolet. Germain Racing making their return to NASCAR in the Phantom Racing League. How nice of them to make the return here, of all places. So this number 13 Chevrolet is going to be one to look out for. Look at all this ground he is making up on the cars right in front of him in his windshield. First up is the 12. He's going to try to set him up into 1. Wasn't quite close enough to get him to run wide. As they pass the massive Jumbotron on the back straightaway. So far it seems like everyone's starting to settle into a groove as we're getting almost halfway through this run. It's a nice 13 car, yes indeed. Cyogenic thinks it'll look even nicer out in the front, but he's got a whole lot of obstacles that he needs to navigate through. Starting with the 12, then the 51. Seems like not really everyone's in too much of a hurry to get anywhere right now. This is, even though this is a 1.5 miles, this is probably one of the tougher 1.5 miles to make up ground on, as there's not a whole lot of racing room for these guys to run side by side or even just give each other a little bit of space. Let's check in with the 90. Trouble for the 1 of Ed. He's into the wall in the front stretch. Big issue for the number 1 Monster Energy Chevrolet, but he seems to get it refired. And he's going to continue on his merry way. 96 of the Ghost, that's what I was trying to get to. The 96 car seems to have lost this group. He seems to have lost touch with them for the moment. So right now it's just him and the 22 of old Johnny Boy. 12 car getting to the wall off the turn 2. These guys aren't in too much of a hurry. 88 seems to be closing in on the leader. Probably sitting all by himself in front. But in this league, the draft is pretty important, as the 88's turned into an electric car down the back straightaway. As is the 96, the 24, and the 12. 17 car of Mach 1 Mac is on the apron. I wonder if he might have made an early pit stop. This entire group has caught up with the 42, and they have pretty much linked up with each other. No one's really in a hurry to make any sort of move. They know this is a very long race. There's a lot of laps to tick off here, so these guys are going to be being very patient, as we're about maybe 7 or 8 laps left until the first pit stop. And I want to keep an eye on the 17 of Mach 1 Max. I think he might have made an early pit stop. So 17 car might be doing a little bit of strategy. So it is the 42 of Parley. As you can see on screen, he is the leader of this group out in front. Might have tagged the wall off turn 2 onto the back stretch, and that caused this whole group to check up a little bit, but not too much. Now, what is the 88 going to do? He's looking to go to the outside, but he goes back to the bottom. The 24 is going to stay to the outside. Elvin's tagging along. 88 stays low. 42 is going to pick up the 24's draft and keep those guys side by side, and leaving the 88 hung out to dry. And that's going to shuffle him back into 4th if the 51 car can clear him here off of 4. He's going to do it. 51 up into 3rd. So now it's up to JoJo to fight his way back. Black Cross, look at that 24 car continuing to make way on the outside. Outside lane at Charlotte. Who would have thought? Elvin with a big push to the 24. Getting him and the 42 side by side into turn 3. JoJo goes to the bottom. It's 2 by 2 up at the front. Elvin gets really close to the wall. He gets into it. And there goes the spots. There goes the spots. Side by side up in the front, the 42 and the 24. Black Cross on the outside. Parley down low. Where's JoJo going to tag along with? 19mm up into 4th. There's the 17 of Mac. These guys are looking to get pretty close to their fuel window. Harley giving Black Cross a big push into turn number 1. And Mach 1 Mac's gonna get out of the leader's way, so he's gonna lose a lap. So this is your top 6, pretty much in a league of their own compared to the rest of the field. As it appears, it'll be these drivers that'll be fighting it for the big prize at the end. 42 and the 24 fighting over the same piece of real estate. 24 gives them a big swing back. Here comes the 88 to the bottom, down the back stretching into 3. 42 and the 24 still have a score to settle. They have not settled it yet, but the 42 and the 88 pitting early, as the 22, 96 of the Ghost coming onto pit road. Oh, and the 42 gets into the wall. He's speeding up. He missed pit road. The 42 of Parley did not get registered onto pit road. He's going to have to come back around. That's going to cost him a ton of time. But the good news is for him, this is a long race. He's got plenty of time to come back from it, as the rest of the field, in response to that group pitting early, they will pit 1 lap later. 88's coming out of pit road now. So there's the 96, the 24 on pit road. There's Ed's car. 19 and Elvin. There's Johnny Boy. Max making another pit stop. And there's Cyogenic in the 13, who I believe pitted even later than the rest of these cars. So here's Parley. Finally gets it to his stall. And an early gut punch for the 42 sets him back. So Black Cross onto the apron, looking to merge up as he is now out of the pits and has built himself a massive gap over the 51 and the 12. But here comes the 88, already up to speed. His tires warmed up, catching to the bumper of the 24. We're starting to see a little bit of a lag. I'll have to check the forecast, but the lag clouds might be rolling in at a really bad time. There's the 13 of Cyogenic coming out of the pits, compared to the 24 and the 88. Black Cross looks like he will be the race leader after this cycle, and he is. So yeah, this is your current race leader right now. In front. 51 of Elvin, I think. Oh, he's into the wall. He teleported up into the wall. And he's starting to slow down. I can hear those revs going down. The caution waves. Well, gentlemen, I think we're going to be bringing out the tarps, because The clouds are starting to roll in. And we're not even a stage through of this race. Excuse me. So that caution came out as the lag clouds started to roll in and hover above the racetrack. Now, we were about 20 or so laps in. And it looks like everyone else is going to come in and park. Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's gonna be one of those nights. So we are once again this season under delay. As we take a look at the lag forecast, and I'm starting to see a lot of clouds hovering above the Charlotte area. So everyone bring out your tents, bring up the tarps, cover up the cars. Everyone go find shelter. It's gonna be a long night. So as we're under delay, this will give me a chance to remind the audience that next season, there will be a next season of Phantom. That's to be determined when it'll start, but we will be racing the next-gen cars here on NASCAR Heat 5. So this series will continue to race on Thursdays, but there will be a new Pro-Am series that'll debut on Saturdays next season. They will also be racing the next-gen cars. So if anyone is interested in signing up for Phantom and wants to dip their toes into league racing, maybe some slider guys looking to try out some custom racing, hit up league owner Elvin Priest if you're interested in joining. Better hurry up though, those spots are starting to fill up really fast. And I'll tell you right now, the pro lineup's starting to look pretty stacked for next season. Gonna be some of the same guys, but there's gonna be a lot of new guys coming over next season, so looking forward to that. And same can be said for the Pro-Am as well. So we got an invite for a new session. Johnny Boy's hosting it. Wonder if this one's... No, it's not. Alright, I forgot to look at the distance here. So this will now be reduced to a 25% race, 100 laps. So, and because that happened during Stage 1 did not end, so Stage 1 points are still up for grabs. That does not change anything here, thankfully. So if that happened during Stage 2, I would have to consult with race officials on scoring for that, but... So we got this lobby going. We're going to see if hopefully the clouds have rolled past the racetrack and we we can finally get this thing green again. So let's cycle to 24. I believe he was the leader at the time of caution, so everyone's gonna get back to their original spots. So Black Cross was the leader at the time of caution. JoJo should be second. So front row on the outside, then Elvin Priest in third. 19mm, then Cyogenic in the 13. Old Johnny Boy, then the Ghost Parley in the 42. Ed, though, in the 1, and Mach 1 Mac in the 17. But the good news for those guys, if any of them were a lap down, fear not, everyone is back on the lead lap now, so not to worry there. Let's try this again. Black Cross taking him to green. We're back under racing here at Charlotte. Outside struggle to get going. Elvin's going to take advantage of that. He's up into second, all over the bumper of the 24. Here comes the 13 to the outside. Cyogenic outside, swings down low. Trying to see where all of that momentum is going to take him. And so far we are looking good. Black Cross still in front. But now it's Elvin back up into second place. As we have about, let's say, 24 laps here. And speaking of 24, about to get past for the lead by car number 51, Elvin Priest, bringing a whole train of cars with him on the bottom, including the 13 and the 88. That's JoJo CY later. We'll be CYing him at the bottom of the racetrack into 1. And here comes the 96 car of the Ghost. Look at this, 2 by 2 at the front. 13 now to the outside. Black Cross tags the wall on entrance of 3. 51 and 88 get together. Everyone's still trying to sort this out. Now it's time for Cyogenic to run away with it. He is now in front in that Geico Chevrolet. So we should see one pit stop between now and the end of stage 1, since they don't seem to have enough fuel to make it to the end, with this being a shorter stage. It's more laps than they were planned to have. Actually, no, stage 1 was about 49, and they ran about. Actually, this is fine. This is fine. So 13 car is your race leader here at Charlotte stage 1 out of 4. So this race not looking to be as long as scheduled because of the unfortunate delay we have encountered early on. We've had to reset the lobby. Now the race has now been cut in half pretty much. Unfortunately, kind of takes away about what this race was going to be. This was going to be a 200 lap endurance race, and now it's down to a 100 lap dash, but with an extra stage of points up for grabs, which can be a good thing for some of these guys trying to make it to the championship 4. Here's one of them in mind. Parley in the 42 car comes into this I don't have the points in front of me. Well, he was second towards the end of the round of 12, so he carried over a lot of points from the round of 12, but the reset's going to set him back a little bit since he didn't score a whole lot of playoff points throughout the year. He only had one stage win to his name, and that was last week, so coming in at a bit of a disadvantage, but not to worry for him. He can make it up. Now the rest of the field's looking to get nose to tail and line up so they can try to run the 13 car down as he is looking to extend his lead. And the problem with that is, when you get a line like this, and with the draft as strong as it is, you get a lot of checking up. And if you got a car up front that you may feel like is holding you up, even if they're not, you might feel like they're holding them up. So it's a patience game at the end of it. And I'm seeing comments. Okay, got the opportunity. Okay, I don't know why. For some reason I was having an issue with the chat. I wasn't seeing comments. It says there's 9, but I'm only seeing 5. So if there were 4 other comments, I didn't see any of them. So but man, look at the lead the 13 car is gaining over this entire pack. Everyone else is going out to war with each other. Meanwhile, the 13's out for a Sunday cruise. Yeah, Cyogenic's pretty much sitting back in his recliner, having a glass of tequila in his cup holder, if that car has a cup holder. Just winding back, relaxing. Meanwhile, these guys are in rush hour traffic. Fast forward, 96 car of the Ghost is now the second place car. Leader of this pack, 19mm, and that 12 car up into third. Jojo Siwa stuck on the outside, getting passed by Parley. Might have tagged the wall with the 51. 24 Black Cross was the leader. Now here he is, Mark, back in the middle of this pack, getting around the 88. And then you see the 22 of old Johnny Boy trying to make some noise early on. 96 out of the outside, 19mm now up into second place. Parley in third. The Ghost looking to squeeze his way back into line. Clears the 88. And he's going to draft with the 24 of Black Cross, who is trying to peek down low into 3. Parley and 19mm side by is going to take charge of second. Cyogenic pitting early. He's going to take a massive undercut while the rest of the pack races on. The 13 is going to make an early pit stop. And that is going to be huge because pitting all by himself means he's going to come out with an even bigger lead than he already had. Johnny and Mac getting together at the back of this group. Now let's see how the rest of this field responds. With the 13 pitting early, nobody seems to be coming in this time. The race soldiers on. And there you see Cyogenic coming out of the pits. He will merge towards the back straightaway. This entire freight train is going to scoot right by him. Cyogenic now gonna merge between the 22 and the 17, 1 lap down. 51's gonna pit this time, and just like Cyogenic, he is going to pit alone, which for him could also be a good thing because he doesn't have to worry about getting ran into or having to run into anybody else. Parley is now gonna cycle to the front with the Ghost in second. Or Black Cross in second, the Ghost in third, Jojo in fourth, 19 in fifth. Anyone behind them come in? I saw a blue car, that's Mach 1 Mac, onto pit road now. This is huge for Cyogenic. Actually, maybe not be as huge because he is merged out with this group and he is on much fresher tires. Assumingly he took tires. Now the 24 and the 88 are going to come in now. Cyogenic no longer has the benefit of clean track in front of him to just click off lap times. He's going to scoot by the 22. who should be pitting any lap now. Parley still out in front with the 96 of the Ghost. 19mm is now up into third place. Parley's gonna scoot to the outside. He looks to be pitting this time. 19 had to check up for him, and Cyogenic runs into the back of him. Parley goes for a spin. And that's twice in a row. Parley with a pit road mishap. And this time it brings out others. Brings others involved. And that's tough for Cyogenic too, because how much an advantage is he still going to have now? He had to check up for that huge accident that happened right in front of him. But there doesn't seem to be a caution. He's going to keep going. 12 car on pit road. The 96 is now coming in for service. Here's the 51 of Elvin, who had pitted many laps ago. We'll see where he cycles out. Nine coming out of the pits. So Johnny Boy in the 22 ahead of the 17. And the Ghost comes out of the pits. The 13 gonna drive by him, but you see the 24 of Black Cross much closer to the 13 this time by than before the pit stop. Yeah, that checkup cost 13 a lot of time. But the good news for him, he is still at an advantage. Out in front, this stage is almost to a close. He just needs to hang on for a couple more laps. And he can come home with a green and white checkered flag. That 24 is tracking him down. Let's ride on board with him. So about 2 laps to go, it looks like. Maybe 1 to go, I can't quite tell. I think this is the last lap. Black Cross getting closer and closer each lap, but unfortunately doesn't have enough laps to make it count in the green and white checkers wave. As stage 1 finally comes to a close. And the stage win will go to Cyogenic in the number 13 car, Geico Chevrolet. Been coming on strong in the playoffs despite the fact that he is not a playoff driver. That's been the talk of the pre-race. All these non-playoff contenders have been pretty much stinking up the show for the guys going for a championship. They've been stealing the spotlight. Cyogenic being the lead member of that cast. He's pretty much been the front man of that group as he continues to take center stage here in the Phantom Racing League playoffs with yet another stage win to add to his total. So Black Cross second, the Ghost in third, Elvin Priest and JoJo fourth and fifth. As we will line them up for stage 2. And we are back underway here at Charlotte. Cyogenic, your leader, the Ghost on his outside. As they roll into 1. 96 got really close to the 13's quarter panel. They seem to have locked together. That seemed to upset the balance of his car. Not what he had looked for. Cyogenic's going to take charge of the outside and cut back down, but he can't clear the 24 of Black Cross, who is looking to get the lead back from Cyogenic across the start-finish line into 1. Black Cross inside to the lead. with Elvin in tow, and the 13 to the outside's going to lose the lead and more. And just like that, the 13 car of Cyogenic is now back into 5th place. And to prevent himself from losing even more spots, he's going to cut in front of the 96. Get himself comfortably back in line. Now here comes Elvin, shuffling ahead of the 24. Now Elvin takes the lead. This seems to be the theme of the night. We're just going to be seeing constant lead change after lead change. These guys building up runs. And everyone's taking advantage of the runs they're able to build up. Johnny Boy being one of them. That 22 AAA Ford Mustang getting around the 13 and putting Johnny Boy up into the top 5. We haven't seen a whole lot of this out of Johnny Boy this season. He's been kind of taking it easy. Not too worried about getting in anyone's way or mixing things up, but I think we're starting to see a changing of the tides here for Johnny Boy as he's starting to not worry so much about disrupting the flow of how things are going in this league. He wants to go to the front. He seems to have a pretty quick enough race car to do it. He's closing in on the 24 of Black Cross, but he misses the bottom lane. That draft is so strong, it's so easy to get carried away with it. That just allows your race car to push up the track and miss your mark. Much like it did that time too, but I think 24 might have checked up as well. He's into the wall! He's into the wall off 4! Massive hit! Cyogenic's going to take advantage of the checkup from the 22, who is now up into 4th place. He couldn't do it. Johnny Boy's going to stay ahead of him. And Black Cross loses some time, but not too much time. He is still catching a whiff of that draft and keeping him in the fight. As the 96 car seems to be in a bit of trouble. Meanwhile, back up at the front, Elvin Priest, your leader, still looking to catch his first career win, or at least first win of the season in his own league. He's been pretty close to it several times, but hasn't quite gotten it yet. Same with Parley in the 42, another driver that has shown immense speed on a consistent week-to-week basis. Finds himself in the thick of it again. Also hasn't won a race yet either. And now here they are, nose to tail, going for the lead here at Charlotte. And Johnny Boy is up into 3rd place ahead of JoJo. There's Cyogenic right in the middle of this dogfight in 5th, ahead of 19mm in that number 12 car in 6th place. Elvin playing defensive mode here on Parley. Johnny going to the outside, trying to see where his car is able to take him. Parley peeks to the bottom, nothing there. Elvin blocks it. As this train's rolling into 1, leaving the station. Reaching immense speeds down the back straightaway. Looks to be a 6-car breakaway. Black Cross and Mach 1 Mac losing touch with that 12 car. It was currently scored in the 6th spot. What's this? Johnny might be getting a little greedy. He peeked his nose there a little. Maybe he was just trying to get back in line. Maybe just want to get a little peek at what's ahead of him. But right now, things are starting to calm back down. This stage is 22 laps long. Which still might be a little too long for the fuel to last, so we'll see if these guys will be pitting this time. Maybe someone in the draft thinks they can be able to save about 3 laps, which is a tall order, but we'll see if it's possible. Battle for 2nd. Johnny Boy to the inside of Parley. This is for 2nd place. Turn 3. 22 to the bottom, and the 42 has to scoot up high. Make room for everybody else. The 88's going to come into pit this time by. And old Johnny Boy up into 2nd. Again, we have not seen a whole lot of this out of Johnny Boy in this league. And I've raced against Johnny in other leagues. He is a very fast race car driver, just hasn't quite put on the performance to show it. Until now, inside of Elvin for the lead, and he gets tight into 3, puts him into the wall. Oh, Johnny just overcooked it. And Elvin's gonna lose a ton of time. Johnny, if he had the lead, he had it for about a split second, and now he's gonna have to fight back for it, as Parley is now in control. Now we'll have to keep an eye on the 88 car. There's the 17 of Mac also on pit road. Here's the 88 car of I think it was JoJo. Sorry, I'm losing track of everything that's going on. Look at all the time Elvin lost. It might not hurt him in the long term, but any stage points he could have gotten, that's out the window now. So, Parley is your leader. What does Johnny Boy have for him? Alright, so he's had a shot at the lead earlier. Got a little bit carried away with the car. Might have got carried a little too much speed into the turn. He's going to put that in the back of his memory bank and try not to make the same mistake again. And look at the line he ran there through 4. And that's built him up a lot of speed. That momentum, he's going to take it to the outside of Parley. And stay to his outside. Now let's see if he can keep him down there. He does, down the back straightaway for the lead. And that thing is just hooked up. When that thing is running its line, it is just set and sail. But 3 and 4, it didn't quite have that same advantage. As Parley's able to hold off. He's able to hold off the tack for now, but here comes the counter. Outside again through turns 1 and 2. Again, still not enough. Parley with about 4 laps of fuel left in his tank. Because we've had about a couple other cars in this group pit early. We'll see where they cycle out. Cyogenics still holding strong in 3rd. Black Cross in the 24 car in 4th. Still hasn't pitted yet either. Let's check in with the rest of the field here. See if anyone else is on pit road. There's Elvin down the back straightaway. I'm not sure if he pitted yet or not. Oh, and Parley's gonna swing wide into 1. That looked by design, I'm not sure. But that opens up the pearly gates for Johnny Boy to scoot by for the lead. Into turn 3, could this be a round of pit stops underway? Nope, that was a pass for the lead. The 24's on pit road. Now Johnny Boy out in front here at Charlotte. With Parley in 2nd, Cyogenic in 3rd. Ed's on pit road, as is the 24, Liberty Chevrolet of Black Cross. We'll see where he cycles out. Johnny Boy gaining a huge lead over Parley. As he will come in this time, Parley stays out another lap, so does the 13. We saw the 88 of JoJo. He pitted much earlier than the rest of these leaders. 24 cycling out. He's going to come out behind the 88. Now with so few laps left in the stage, I wonder if these guys are taking a splash and go. I'd be shocked if anyone was taking 4 tires. Oh, Parley tags the wall there into 1. He's going to have to let the 24 go by, and I think that's what he intended to do. There's Johnny Boy in the number 22 Ford, cycling back out, stays low for the 24, not going to try to fight it. Ooh, gets tight though. I think Parley finally coming into pit road now. Oh, but he missed pit road. I think this might be for the stage win. He might have tried to stretch his fuel as far as he could go. I'll have to check in and see. That was the last lap of the stage. And ladies and gentlemen, guess who won that stage? You're looking at him right there. And he may or may not be telling you to save 15% or more in car insurance. That is Cyogenic. Stage 2 winner, along with winning the first stage. Parley took the risk of stretching his fuel to the very end. Got himself a good chunk of points. Didn't quite get the stage win, but he gets 9 for finishing second. And the Ghost will be in third. Then Jojo CY later in the 88, who I thought was the leader, was actually in fourth. And forgot the Ghost pitted like super early in the stage. So he pretty much got his splash and go out of the way. So he's third, Jojo fourth. Black Cross got ahead of Johnny Boy for fifth. Johnny will restart in sixth place. So let's get to the front for stage 3. And this is not the final stage, we still got one more after this. Cyogenic, the control car on this restart. Parley on the outside. Seems like the Ghost might have missed a shift. He had a little bit of a tough time getting going on the restart. And that's allowed Jojo to take advantage, as does the cars on the outside, including the 22 of Johnny Boy, who's not done yet. Elvin all over his bumper. He might not be too happy with him with what happened earlier. Ed tags the wall at the back. Oh, and he might have gotten sideways. And he is in the wall. His rough night continues. As all these cars are turning into EVs before my very eyes and ears once again. The crowd seems very happy about it. Me, on the other hand. There we go. I want to hear engine noise, baby. I want to hear engine noise. I need... Ooh, Black Cross. Might have tried to squeeze the 22 car down. Washes up the track. And continues to sink like an anchor. At this stage, things are starting to seem a little more spread out. We're not starting to see the intense freight train that we were seeing in the first two stages. Things are a little more spaced out. Parley seems like he's got a car that can contend with Cyogenic. Jojo and Elvin side by side. Elvin's trying to march his way back up to the front. After a rough stage 2, he's back up to third. And there's the Ghost running in fifth in that number 96 Toyota. Cyogenic's car got tight off 4. Not to worry, he's looking to pull away from Parley. So while that's going on, so we see Black Cross and Johnny Boy. Johnny's starting to get his elbows out. He's a little bit further back on this restart, but that's the most aggressive I've seen him run in a while. It was pretty exciting to see him out up in front, even if it was for only a little bit. This 22 car, man, if you give him a good car, he's able to run up in the front. Just hasn't been able to show a whole lot of it. He's been kind of taking it easy. But I think he's been given the green light to show the Phantom World what he's capable of. And right now he's getting passed by the 2488 of JoJo. Pitting super early this stage. So that's something we'll have to keep an eye on. We got about 16 to go in stage 3. Man, here's the Ghost, man. He was so close to getting a win last week at Iowa. An absolute classic of a race that was. One 9mm getting really loose off turn 4. Turn 4, a tricky spot here at Charlotte that a lot of guys having to deal with. That 96 Toyota continuing to run strong. He's finished top 5 in all of his starts. He's looking to keep that streak alive. And there's Black Cross getting around the 12. As, ooh, we got a trio of cars pitting. A lot of guys taking notes from stage 2. More cars are attempting the undercut, and they're really close together. 51, 96, then the 24. That's how they have entered. And they definitely got close. I'm going to keep an eye on this group because I want to see whether or not... Whoa. Let's see whether or not any of these guys got a speeding penalty. Now the funny thing, maybe not funny for these guys, the funny thing would be if all 3 of them got a pit road speeding penalty. Because that's not completely out of the picture. I should know from experience racing on Tuesday night in another league at Talladega. We had a pack of 4 cars up in the front. And for the final pit stop, we all pretty much ran into each other. And all 4 of us, including the lap car that was racing with us, all 4 of us got the black flag. And we still pretty much managed to stay in contention. And I think the 24 might have lost a ton of ground. I don't know if he took tires or if this is a penalty. I'll let you be the judge. You were able to see it on screen. The 24 comes out much later than his peers. There's the 51 of Elvin. Where's the 96 of the Ghost? There he is. Coming off of 4. Elvin's already on the front stretch. So right now, Cyogenic and Parley are still running first and second. So there's not really a whole lot of activity at the moment. 19mm back in the field. He's been on a 2-week hiatus. But luckily for him, he still had enough points carried over from the first round to keep his championship hopes alive. Because that could have played out so many different ways where the 12 car could have been out of the first round. But he caught a lucky break, as there's some other drivers that were pretty much in the same situation he was, weren't able to make a race or 2, and luckily for him, he's able to continue where he left off and keep his championship fight alive. And now here's Mach 1 Mac, who I've actually been looking forward to talking about in this race since, if anyone isn't aware, Mach 1 Mac, of course, races in FR. A lot of people race with him in the community. We held a 1-9 Niner Dan. We're able to hold a community race for him in his honor, as Mach 1 Mac is currently fighting cancer at the moment. So it was 1-9's and I think Niner Dan's idea to put together a GoFundMe and do a community race for Mac in his honor. Everyone willing to donate to his cause, to his GoFundMe, which by the way raised more than $1,000, which was pretty cool to see. And Mach 1 Mac, and he wasn't supposed to know about it. And we had about 100 people in our PlayStation group, and the fact that not a single person was able to leak it out that we were doing this until the day of is absolutely miraculous. And we were racing at Michigan the next gen. The race itself was pretty much a fuel mileage race. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. We were able to just race for a good cause. As we hope Mach 1 Max is able to keep up the fight and kick cancer's ass. And that's what we're all hoping for. So, prayers up for Mac, man. He's a hell of a racer and a hell of a man. One of the nicest guys I've ever talked to on this game. So here's Cyogenic. I apologize if I missed any of the action, but I just had to talk about that for a second. So here's Cyogenic. I think he might have came out of the pits, I'm not sure. So Johnny Boy's in, along with his Penske teammate of 1-9. 1-9, of course, I talked about. He was one of the organizers of that event. Him and Mac, good buddies. He really wanted to do this for Mac. But he really wanted to keep it a hush-hush until the day of, and I'm, again, really proud of the community we were able to do that. And shout out to everyone that showed up, including some of our own guys. 1-9 was in that race. I was in that race. I was gonna commentate that race, but I don't know why I decided last second I felt like I should race it, including Showtime Flash, one of our own drivers, who's not racing here tonight. He's actually at Bristol for NASCAR weekend at Bristol Motor Speedway, which I'm actually kind of jealous, not gonna lie. I wish I was there. That's one of the tracks I've always wanted to go to. Harley's on pit road. Yeah, 12 and 22 pretty much came in together, and here they are out of the pits, still running nose to tail. There's Parley coming out of pit road, merging back onto the racing surface behind this duo that are pretty much running nose to tail with about, I'm gonna say, 3 laps left. And looks like we might have a pass for position. Johnny Boy looking to take the spot away. 1-9's not going to back down, though. Strong run through that middle groove, keeping that car revved up. And still able to do so, but not in too much for her. He's going to concede the spot to Johnny and let him go. So 13 car. Still out in front here at Charlotte. About 2 laps or so left. Actually, this would be the last lap of stage 3 before we wrap things up. As this battle is continuing to heat up. And now Elvin's caught up to Parley. They're side by side for position. Everyone trying to gather all the points they can. Remember, this is a 4-stage race. Way more points up for grabs in this race than any other. So anyone that's in this race is going to get a lot of points, regardless of where they finish. And that is it for stage 3. Everyone else continuing to cross the line. And it is Cyogenic, stage winner once again here at Charlotte. Jojo Siwa later in the number 88 will finish in second. That was 19mm. Edging out ahead of Johnny Boy. That was actually a battle for third. 19 got back around the 22, and he'll take the third spot away from Johnny, who will finish in fourth. Elvin Priest beats out Parley for fifth. That'll bring the 42 back to sixth. Mach 1 Mac on the lead lap in seventh, ahead of the Ghost, and Black Cross is ninth place. We had a rough round of pit stops in this stage, but luckily for him, he does not lose a lap. The one car of MFF Ed, though, gets his lap back. So our entire field is on the lead lap for the final stage here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Cyogenic leads. JoJo on the outside, 19mm in third. And this pack will set sail into turn one yet again. JoJo, not a whole lot to work with there. There was a hole that closed up really fast. Tried to take another one that also closed up. He's stuck on the outside. He's gonna have to make do with what he has. Elvin getting a little loose off of 4. Clears ahead of the 88 car, who is now under fire from the 96 of the Ghost. Mach 1 Max slides up the track. Partly in the middle, 3 wide at the back. Things got a little bit hairy, but they sorted out. Now, 19mm. Car's coming on strong here at Charlotte. He is now up into second place. Does anyone have anything for the 13 car? Everyone's tried, but no one seems to have been able to prevail. Now 19 is up at the plate. He's ready to bat. Not if Elvin has anything to say about it. There he is in third place. But he opens the door for JoJo. Rides around the bottom, but he doesn't take advantage. He will stay behind the 51 car. We'll have to try again. He's still got the Ghost and Black Cross behind him. Cyogenic trying to break the draft. Down the back straightaway and into 3. 19. Still, he seems like he's able to hang on. And he's separating himself from Elvin and the rest of this pack. Everyone else still looking to fight it out. Parley getting around the 22 car of Johnny Boy. This is the final stage, which again, I think is going to play out the same as the other 3. We should see a round of pit stops. What does everyone have up their sleeve? Who's going to try to blink first? Regardless of what everyone's been able to do, no one seems to have been able to edge out ahead of Cyogenic. He's gotten the best out of everybody in each of the first 3 stages, but now that pay window is open. Now it's time to see who's going to be the first to cash in. And 19, he is there now. Closing in fast. That 12 car is right there on the 13. This is for the lead here at Charlotte. 13 painting that blue line. 19 seems to have been running a groove, maybe half a groove higher. Able to build up that momentum through the front stretch. Let's see how long him and his tires are able to hold on. That 13's got a rocket ship. But I tell you, man, that draft has been able to make things interesting. The rest of the pack trying to get lined up and keep themselves in the fight. .19 continuing to run half a groove higher than the 13. I think he might be either his car start to get a little tight, or maybe he's trying to set him up. There he runs a little higher again. I think the 13 might be starting to pull away. 19's giving it all he's got. Now let's look at the rest of the pack. Elvin still in the 3rd spot. He's leading this train. And he's trying to reach the station, but that station is moving further and further away. There's really not a whole lot him and the rest of this pack can do. The only way they can is try to beat him out of pit road. And so far, with less than 15 to go, there's 13 laps to go, about 10 or 11 laps left in the fuel window. This can get very interesting. Mach 1 Mac is on pit road early. And so is the one car of Ed, though. As the 12 and the 13 have switched into EV mode. The rest of the pack starting to break apart side by side for third. That's because Elvin and Parley signaling that they are pitting early. Parley not going to attempt to stretch his fuel, and instead will pit with the two red, white, and blue Chevrolets of Black Cross and Elvin. Now here's the red, white, and blue Toyota of the Ghost. Now leads this group ahead of Jojo Siwa in the red, white, and blue number 88, and Old Johnny Boy in the red, white, and blue number 22. Now the white and blue, without the red. Number 13, the Cyogenic still leads ahead of the red and yellow Ford of 19mm. There's Elvin coming out of the pits this time by. This top four still needs to make their pit stop. Parley's coming out. He took right side tires only. Curious to see what the rest of the pack's taken. I think I saw the 96 car come on a pit road that time by. 88's coming out. There's the 96 of the Ghost. He is coming in for his last pit stop of the night. Cyogenic still out in front. 19mm still running in second, but he's starting to lose touch of that draft. The 13's starting to get back into his groove and pull away with less than 10 laps to go. Now, what about the 22 of Johnny Boy? He still hasn't pitted yet. He's in third right now. Jojo and the Ghost running nose to tail through 1 and 2. Now, if I'm 1-9, now would be a good time to try to get the undercut on the 13. See if you can beat him out of pit road. He doesn't want to do that just yet. So it looks like the top three remain the same. I'm not sure what the lap count's looking like right now, as the 13 and the 12 finally coming for service. Johnny Boy's gonna stay out. So we'll keep an eye on that. So Johnny, who has turned his engine back on conveniently, now I can hear engine noise. He's finally coming in to pit road. Cyogenic out of the pits, extending his advantage over the 12. And likely gonna run away with this thing as we're down to less than 5 to go. Johnny Boy takes a splash. There he is, coming out. So we'll see where he cycles out. Gets passed by the 12. There's Elvin. The Ghost and JoJo have been nose to tail pretty much most of this run. There's the 42 at Parley. Might have had a rough pit stop as he's falling way to the back. So that was 2 to go, and everything seems to be sorted out. Battle's pretty much going to be for second place. The white flag waves. One final lap here at Charlotte. I tell you what, man, the focus here at Phantom was going to be pretty much about the playoffs and which 4 drivers were going to advance to the championship. But over these last 3 or 4 races, the outsiders have pretty much been stealing the spotlight. And once again, it is Cyogenic taking center stage here in Phantom. Gets the dub yet again here in Phantom at Charlotte. And once again, in a different car number, 13 was in fact very lucky. In second place will be 19mm. For the second time this season, he will come up 1 spot short. Elvin Priest back on the podium in third. JoJo Siwa in the 88 car back in the top 5 in fourth. And the Ghost rounds out your top 5. He will keep his top 5 streak alive. Johnny Boy with the season best of 6th place. Finishes ahead of Black Cross in 7th. Parley 8th. Mach 1 Nat 1 I had a stroke there. Mach 1 Mac finishes 9th. And MFF Ed though rounds out your top 10. It has been yet another dominant performance by the man who cannot seem to decide what car he wants to run.
Apology, sorry.
It's alright. It's all good. Ed is the man of the hour, but we will get to him in a minute as we will try to get the rest of our top 3 in the booth so they can have their 15 seconds of fame. Alright, let's get started with the man who I usually save for the very end, but since he finished third, we might as well start with him now. So, Elvin, finishing third, just walk me through your race.
It was an up and down race, the whole damn race. My car was, that thing has some tail whip to it, and I didn't like that. So we fixed that, and then stage 2, my car just came alive, you know? It felt like Terminator, I guess you could say. It just felt like amazing. And then I had the incident with the 22, which, you know, things happen, but I recovered from it. That's what matters the most. And, you know, stage 3, I pitted 12 laps in, hoping that I would get Cyogenic, but I didn't. I'm not the best at strategy. Never will claim to be. I ain't no Flash 9, but hey, it got me to third place.
Now, you mentioned Now you mentioned strategy, and unfortunately, with the weather delay that we've encountered here, we've had to shorten the race, and that changed pretty much the entire trajectory of this race, because this was initially going to be a 200 lap race. The stages were going to be around 40 or so laps. Like, the first stage was going to be about 49, which likely would have meant y'all would have had to have pitted more than once in each of these stages. So this definitely, um, how did that change the strategy approach? Like, were you guys taking tires during the green flag pit stops, like right sides, or were you just taking like splashes of fuel and just
Me
heading out?
personally, and I think everyone else, like once we noticed the pattern. I mean, I took tires once. Like, honestly, I said it was by accident, but I just used that as a cover up because it was stupid. But I figured, why not? You know, there's 10 people here. Why not just try some stuff? You know, it sucks the car count was low, but at least it's a lot of. They're all good. You know, each and every one of them. But yeah, so no tires each stop. That was the go-to plan. And if you took 2 tires, if you took any of that, chances you're screwed. Like when I did take 4, I think it was in stage 2. I got fifth still,
Hmm.
and I was in third place when I pitted, so I could have got third or better if I just took none. So I lost out on a few positions, but it's okay. Uh, just excited for next week, and I believe it is Michigan. Not 100% sure. Timmy, you got the website in front of you. Is it Michigan?
Funny enough, I usually have it up every week, but I don't. I'm slacking.
You damn slacker! You wanna know what I'm about to do? Just because of that?
I'll get it up here in a second. Hey, don't snap at me. You don't know either.
I do know. You wanna know
All
what
right,
I
then
do
what
know?
is it?
I don't
What
know.
where are we racing at next week?
I say Michigan. That's my guess. I'm pretty sure because then it
You
goes
have
Michigan,
guessed
Phoenix,
correctly. It is Michigan.
or my $5. I'm not even joking.
So anyway, that is Elvin, your third place finisher, back in the podium and a strong start to his chase at a championship. So he will come out with a strong points buffer because there's a lot of points up for grabs in this race. So congrats on that. And let's turn to our second place finisher, and that is 19mm. You got a copy.
I got you, Timmy.
Alright, so it looked like you had a pretty strong car that was capable of running top 5, but that final stage, you were able to finally break free, and you were able to put yourself in position to run down the race leader, and you were keeping up with them for the most part, until like the very end. It looks like Cyogenic's car was just in a league of its own. Just walk me through your race.
Yeah, car acted totally different in this race than what I thought it would. It started off like a rocket, but it'd start dropping at the end, or normally I was the other way around. So I've battling through the first 3 stages to figure out what changes I need to make, and kind of worked out. Following Sio there, I wish he just stayed in line. I was like, man, we can get out of here. These guys are about to lose our draft, and I finally was able to catch his draft, and we kind of pulled away a little bit there, gave us a little buffer, but um, good racing with everybody tonight. I mean, it was good, tough checking up, a lot of checking up. So I'm sure you can see that. But when you got 8 cars checking up every turn, it's a challenge, and that shows the quality of the people in here to be able to understand that. I'm really enjoying that, just not getting plowed, you know. So it was a good
Yeah,
race.
it's a very high praises and a strong result for you. And I'm not sure if you know, since even though you missed the last couple races, you still advanced to
I know.
this
I didn't think
round of
so,
the
but
playoffs. You still scored enough points to carry that over, and with that result, that should help you in the points. So,
oh, it's gonna be a battle for fourth. Let there be no doubt. There's a fourth place battle going on right now.
yes, indeed. So that is,
Congrats to Sio too. By the way. Good race.
yeah. And speaking of Sile, let's get to him here. I forgot who drove the 13 car. Yeah, there we go. So, Sile, you got a copy.
Yeah, man, I got you.
I mean, what else is there to say? You look like you had a rocket ship. You were the class of the field all night. Just walk me through your race.
Yeah, I didn't kind of got the late notice that I was racing, so I got to set up real quick. And the first race before the rain delay, I just wanted to relax and fill my car out, and that was really good practice. Because I got a good 20 lap run in, then we reset things, and I just attacked for the rest of the second race. The strategy was pretty straightforward. Run hard, and then don't take any tires. The second stage, I saved fuel and didn't stop, but I didn't want to do that anymore. I just felt like I could stretch everybody out enough that no one could save fuel, so I just decided to do that for the rest of the race. That last stage, I was trying to break 1.9, but I just wasn't fast enough. He was just able to stay in my draft, and then I just gave up and just started running a regular line, and then we pulled away even further. So, yeah, final pit stop. I almost sped. I might have been like 2 miles per hour under the limit, but I just got it slowed down enough, and yeah, brought it home for the victory. Fun race.
There you go. It was a dominant performance, and I do gotta ask, I gotta have a little fun with it. Did you notice anything different with the 13 car as opposed to the 37? Was there any like advantage you might have felt running this car?
No, the thing is, I've got I started off with the 48, and ever since I downloaded the 2022 pack, I don't have any of the DLC paint scheme, so I just been looking for a car that I like other than the 48, so I switched to the 37 and got tired of that. I used to think Elvin was running the 13, so that's why I didn't pick that first, so I just picked the 13 this race. I'm not full time, so I guess I can switch around with cars and have fun with it, so no real advantage in the game, I guess. So
Yeah, I mean, I always hear a lot from people around the game that they feel like they notice differences when they run different cars, and I think it's all psychological.
I do notice that some pit stops might be faster. I know that the 78 I think has faster pit stops because it still has the code for Martin Truex Jr. when he used to run that car. That's the only thing I've noticed in the game, but anything else I really haven't noticed.
I'm gonna take note of that. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I'm getting such shitty pit stops anytime I run the 66 car.
Yeah, I don't think it has any.
Everyone I had tonight was 16 seconds. Everyone.
Yes. The 78 car is the only car I've seen get a 14-second pit stop on this game. So.
There you have it. Martin Truex Jr.'s pit crew is still holding strong on NASCAR Heat for BJ McLeod apparently.
Yep.
So good on them. That'll about wrap it up. I think that'll about do it. I don't really have anything else to add. I'm gonna go watch the truck race if that's still going on. So.
Hold on. Still got a lot more to say. Well, like 3 things.
What's that?
You gotta hit that fuck. Oh, no swearing.
Hit that what?
You gotta hit that.
Oh, we're past the point already,
like
dude. We're already past that point.
PGL.
I already said shit
right.
like once, so, or twice.
Hit the fucking subscribe button, bro. Hit the bell. So you don't want to happen if you don't hit that bell? What happens? You don't get to see next season. And
Look
next
out your
season
window.
is crazy.
Look out your
Like
window.
when I say crazy, I'm talking about crazy like in Doofenshmirtz, whatever his damn name is, and Phineas and Ferb. That guy. That guy's crazy.
Well, there you have it.
A thumbs up. We're good now.
If you're listening, y'all better watch out. So, if I were you, I'd hit that subscribe button so that way I'd be able to sleep at night. So, that'll wrap it up, folks. Next week we will be racing at Michigan, and we will be continuing the round of 8 in the playoffs. So, make sure to tune in for that. Once again, you are watching the Phantom Racing League right here on YouTube, and we will see you guys next week. Take care.